Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. We begin tonight in the Northwest Territories. RCMP have confirmed the death of a 6-year-old in Betchacon on Saturday. 3 children, aged 6, 8, and 11, were involved in a single-vehicle ATV collision. The 6-year-old was pronounced dead on the scene. The other children were taken to hospital. The 11-year-old has been released, while the 8-year-old has been flown south for further treatment. The Clichon Community Services Agency says the event has been traumatic for everyone in the community. Lindsay Hope with the Clichon Community Services Agency says we are actively supporting our students and staff through prayers, being together, and school counseling services. Additionally, community mental health services are available to the public. The accident remains under investigation. In Nunavut, a Resolute Bay man is dead and another is presumed dead after a snowmobile accident on Saturday. Police were notified late Saturday night. A youth walked into the community to report that he and 2 others were traveling on one snowmobile when it broke through the sea ice. RCMP and Search and Rescue recovered the body of a 49-year-old man about 12 kilometers from Resolute Bay. A second man, a 35-year-old, could not be found and is presumed to have drowned. The search was called off early Sunday morning. Resolute Bay RCMP and the Nunavut Coroner Service are investigating. Baffinland Mines says it's been given more time to figure out how to sort out its finances. It's been under creditor protection for the past 3 weeks. Samuel Watt reports Baffinland has a $1 billion problem on its hands.
Baffinland says it's received another extension for creditor protection until June 10th. It also says it's received $140 million to offer assurances to suppliers and vendors, but it still wants more time. In an affidavit filed Wednesday, Baffinland asked for an extension until August 28. That's because of the narrow shipping season to its Milne Inlet port, which is the company's best chance to pay back its debts. And there's a lot. $2.6 billion worth that it owes to creditors as of May 14, according to court documents. But it's not all bleak. The court-appointed monitor forecasts Baffinland will be paying out $217 million over the next 2 or so months. But that's contingent on Baffinland getting a $660 million loan it's seeking. Without it, the company says it will run out of cash by the end of this week. Baffinland will be asking for the loan approval on Wednesday. Samuel Watt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The Northwest Territories Residential School Monument was introduced to the public during a ceremony in Yellowknife today. A touchstone collected from the site of the Fort Providence Residential School was selected for the memorial site. The site is located along the Frame Lake Trail close to Samba Cay Park. The ceremony was hosted by the Residential School Survivors Circle, known as We Always Remember. Survivors shared their own stories and honored their fellow survivors and children lost to the residential school system. Together, the circle members unveiled the touchstone. Community members were invited to join the survivors and intergenerational survivors to touch the stone, offering their personal blessings to the monument.
Something enduring that will last and outlast us all. Rocks are common, especially to all northern people, despite our distinctions. We are surrounded by rocks. They define our landscape and our waterways. And we have used rocks for everything, from food preparation to oil lamps, as you've seen earlier, from shelters to tools, from landmarks to works of art, and for sacred ceremony.
Construction of the site is expected to begin later this summer. The touchstone is expected to be mounted at the site in 2027. The Yukon Employees Union says it has rejected the territorial government's contract offer. Government workers haven't had a contract for 17 months, according to the union. TJ Deere has the latest.
The Yukon Employees Union issued the most recent update online on Friday evening. The union says it met with the employer over the last 2 weeks. However, it says talks have broken down. YEU says the offer addresses every outstanding issue, but some items remain unsolved. These include wages, severance pay, and job and benefit protections should YG resurrect the Territorial Health Authority. The union told CBC News that negotiations affect government workers in the Health and Social Services Department. Workers in Mayo, Stewart Crossing, Dawson City, and Watson Lake are also affected. The union says this amounts to more than half of its membership. The union says it will provide more updates to its members by the end of the month. It's also now applying for conciliation from the Yukon Public Service Labor Relations Board. CBC News requested interviews with the Yukon Employees Union and the Public Service Commission. TJ Deer, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Pierre Poilievre has made his pitch for national unity. He says the best way to thwart the separatist movement in Alberta is for Ottawa to free up resources, build pipelines, and respect provincial autonomy. Rafi Boudjikanian has more on the Conservative leader's speech in Calgary.
The first federal leader to address Alberta separatism on the province's turf since its premier announced the referendum question, not the Prime Minister.
You don't need a federal government to put up a stop sign, approve a mine, build a road or a hospital that is only inside one province. You do need it to clear the way for a railway or a pipeline that crosses many provinces.
The official opposition leader reaching out to a movement he says is born of anger at specific federal government policies, not the idea of Canada itself.
Let's lock arms with Saskatchewan and Newfoundland and Labrador to double oil production by replacing C-48 and C-69, the anti-pipeline and anti-energy laws.
An Alberta court recently overturned an approval by the province's electoral body of a question on separation, arguing it violates Indigenous peoples' treaty rights. The Alberta government is not only appealing that decision, but Premier Danielle Smith has placed a question on a referendum ballot for October, asking voters if they want to stay in Canada or agree there should eventually be a vote on separation.
We believe that when an issue is important to Albertans, they should have a way of putting those ideas forward. Kicking the can down the road would only prolong a very emotional debate.
A debate this country's twice had before over Quebec. The Prime Minister who led Canada through the last unity crisis says sounding an alarm now may be premature.
So it's a problem that it is with us since a long time, but it is a marginal problem in my judgment.
Political observers say polling bears that out for now.
Separatism is below 30%. Is that marginal? It's still hundreds of thousands of people. We don't know how things occur in a campaign, right? There's lots of things that could, turn it. We're going to see, and we already have massive disinformation.
One decision all Albertans will watch closely, whether or not the federal government says a new pipeline is in the national interest. A call it's set to make in October, just weeks before the referendum itself. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
And the separation debate in Alberta is close to home in a physical sense for the Northwest Territories community of Fort Smith. But even though the town is right on the border with the province, some residents say they're not overly concerned at this point. And that includes the mayor, who says she has other priorities when it comes to her town's relationship with Alberta, like being downstream from the oil sands industry. The province is currently reviewing how it disposes of oil sands wastewater.
That is concerning for us because, when we go fishing down at the boat launch, we're questioning whether we should. And I don't think we've ever done that before. There's absolutely 100% more at stake on our water sovereignty than it is on the separation, because we don't have control of what happens in Alberta. So we need to have some sort of regulatory system or control to say, wait, we're on the receiving end of that.
Albertans will vote on October 19th to decide if the province should hold a second binding referendum on whether Alberta should leave the country. Canada has a new Governor General. Louise Arbour has been sworn in as the King's 31st representative in Canada. She takes the reins at Rideau Hall after a lifetime of work in law and human rights. The CBC's Marina von Stackelberg has details of the day's events.
Canada's new Governor General is officially sworn in a ceremony fit for a king. Louise Arbour, after all, now represents the monarchy as Canada's head of state. Her first message was one of unity.
Extreme polarization is dangerous, but so is extreme consensus. It is through our differences and our fundamental right to express them, that we will nourish critical thinking, creativity, and innovation.
As a representative of Canada, she'll hold many responsibilities, both ceremonial and operational. She is now Commander-in-Chief of the military, and her signature will be on every new law the government passes.
These duties call for sound judgment, deep learning, and an unwavering commitment to the rule of law, the very principles on which our new Governor General, Her Excellency Louise Arbour, has built her exceptional career.
Arbour has already had a lifetime of accomplishments. They include Supreme Court Judge, Chief Prosecutor for International Criminal Tribunals, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. Arbour gave a heartfelt thank you to her predecessor, Mary Simon, Canada's first Indigenous Governor-General.
She has reminded us that reconciliation is a lifelong journey that begins with listening and with empathy.
Those who know Arbour say she'll bring her own empathy and energy to the job.
We don't think we are perfect, but we believe we're pretty well on the way there.
Each one is much like another.
Arbour's message even reflected in her choice of music, a children's song about how even despite our differences, we are all alike. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
And the swearing in of Louise Arbour ends the term of the previous Governor General, who you saw there, Mary Simon. As you heard, Simon was the first Indigenous person to hold that role, and she had a big impact. After the break, Juanita Taylor speaks to Mary Simon about her barrier-breaking years as Governor General. Five years after her historic appointment, Mary Simon's time at Rideau Hall has come to a close. The CBC's Juanita Taylor sat down with Simon last week to talk about her tenure and how it was defined by reconciliation.
In some ways, it's kind of bittersweet, or some ways it's sad because I'm leaving my team that I've loved to work with over the last 5 years, and happy because I'll be able to spend more time with my grandchildren and my big kids. So it's both. It's it's both. It's hard to leave. I think. Like Rideau Hall has been our home for 5 years, and it's a wonderful place. It's got a lot of history, and it's Canada's house, and we're always so proud when a lot of people come to visit, and we have visitor guides that have been trained to tell visitors the history of this place and how it fits into the Canadian system and the role that the Governor General plays. So it's a very welcoming place for Canadians to come and visit. So it's been a wonderful time.
Mm-hmm. And as Canada's first Inuk Governor General, I know that that in itself must have come with some pressure over the last 5 years, but also a lot of pride for Inuit all across Inuit Nunagat. Tell me just what it meant to you to hold this position as an Inuk.
It was very, very exciting and important. I must admit I was a little nervous at the beginning of the mandate because it seemed such an enormous responsibility. But as I went on, then it became, much better. It was never easy, but when I first got here, I really thought about what role I would really play, like what as an Indigenous person and a representative of the King for all Canadians. So because I was Indigenous, my focus is always kind of going in that area, but at the same time, I represent a bigger place where it's, I'm the Governor General for all Canadians. So I've approached my job in that way. And, the Crown, the Queen, when My grandmother was still alive, and I was growing up, and Inuit revered the Queen, Queen Elizabeth. I can remember my grandmother talking about how important the Queen was, the biggest, highest power of this land, you know, kind of Inuit approach. And so I always felt quite close to the royal family from that very beginning, because I knew about the role they played. So when I got here, I felt that it was important for me to represent the Crown in building a relationship with Indigenous people and other Canadians, because reconciliation has been a big part of my work. And just working with Canadians, Indigenous people, and other cultures across the country has been a really important part of my role, because I felt as though I was the champion of reconciliation, because I took the lead in terms of developing the role that I play in terms of reconciliation and getting people to do better, like in terms of our relationship, building a renewed relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people is an important part of our evolution of our country. And we're at a different phase now, you know, like even just 1980s, when the Constitution first was brought back to Canada from England, we fought and worked a great deal to get our rights recognized in the Constitution of Canada. So from that on forward, I think things have progressed slowly, but surely, and we are, I think, at a place now where Indigenous peoples are really talking about how are we going to partner with the rest of the country to build a better Canada for all of us, more inclusive and stronger, and also working on large projects together. So the duty to consult is really important, because the partnerships have to be developed as well.
Do you feel like you have accomplished what you set out to do when it comes to reconciliation?
I think we are moving forward for sure. It's hard to gauge where we are at, because different parts of the country are at different stages of this process of reconciliation. But the work that we've done has significantly changed people, the way they relate to each other. And I think that some people thought it was a project, but it's not a project, it's a way of life. We each have a responsibility to reconcile differences, so that as Canadians we can work together in tandem. It doesn't matter if you are Inuit or First Nations or like other cultures in Canada. If we can recognize the fact that people are not all the same, that we all have different cultures and languages, and each of us does respect that in our country, I think Canada will be much stronger. So that work that we've done at Rideau Hall through many trips to many different places across the country, I think has helped advance the work that still needs to continue. It's not something, you can't say my project is finished, because it isn't really a project. It's really about developing relationships. And it goes to every level, like negotiations, families, neighbors, you know. There's so much to reconciliation that it's how you feel. Would you like to contribute to reconciliation? You know, it could be in your community.
I would like to hear one last thing from you, and that's just a message that you have to Canadians, to Inuit, as you are preparing to exit the office.
Yeah, well, I'm very honored to have been the Governor General and the first Inuk Indigenous Governor General. Canadians have been very supportive. Indigenous people. Inuit have always been very supportive, and I think that that support has meant a great deal to me, but it's more than me. I think as Canadians, we have moved forward on our relationship and the building of our country, especially in the last couple of years. Things have really become closer, like Canadians have become closer in terms of the relationship between provinces, between Indigenous people, and what's happening right now with the country, with our country working to become more independent of other trade relationships that existed. We're expanding that, and the plan is to make sure Indigenous people are part of it. So I think Canadians have done a great job.
As you have.
Thank you.
Matna chama.
The Canadian body of the Inuit Circumpolar Council, or ICC, has nominated Aluki Kutyuk for chair of the council. As chair, Kutyuk would represent Inuit from across Canada, Greenland, Alaska, and Russia. Canada will assume the chairship in July when it hosts the ICC General Assembly. Canadian delegates have been notified and will be asked to acclaim Kutyuk to the position on the last day of the assembly. That takes place in Iqaluit from July 22nd to 25th, and the position runs from this year until 2030. The Kikitani Inuit Association, or QIA, is investing another $5 million in the Nunavut Inuit Heritage Centre. The funding doubles QIA's contribution to the project for a total of $10 million. The $5 million investment was announced during QIA's board meeting in Iqaluit last week. QIA's president says he hopes the federal government will also increase its support so construction can move forward. Once completed, the Heritage Centre plans to repatriate around 200,000 Inuit artifacts to Nunavut.
It's very important to ensure that these are here in Nunavut, and that our kids and great-grandkids and kids so far could see what they lived on, what they survived on.
QIA also announced another major investment last week. The organization will provide $10 million to support new childcare facilities through the Kakivak Association. U.S. military aircraft were seen and heard flying over Whitehorse on the weekend. The Yukon government identified the aircraft as F-18s on their way from Alaska to the lower 48 states. Alaska has 2 large active-duty Air Force bases. The Yukon government says it's not unusual for military aircraft to fly through Canadian airspace on their way to the continental USA or to stop and refuel in Whitehorse. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.